Hello, what a beautiful day we have today. For a Monday morning, I woke up to all this sunshine and warm weather. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been able to sit outside today and do my Bible study and just enjoy these blessings that God gives us to enjoy. I look up at the trees and I just realize, all this creation that God has gave us to enjoy and the beauty that he's created, his magical artwork he has gave us to enjoy. Things I never even paid attention to for years that I took for granted when I was out there in that world of addiction. I've been outside enjoying this weather today, so I haven't fixed my hair, did my makeup, or anything. You guys will have to excuse that. But as I was doing my Bible study here, I came across one of my favorite books of the Bible, Proverbs. And I want to read you guys right here what it says in Proverbs 31:16. She considers a new field before she buys or accepts it, expanding prudently and not courting neglect of her present duties by assuming other duties. And with her savings and of time and strength, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. That's Proverbs 31:16. And that verse is very true to me because I'm an aggressive type person who wants to be involved in everything that's going on. But I've learned the hard way that it isn't wise or even possible for me to do that. And when I try to do everything, I don't do anything well. When we put too much on our plate, we can't do any of the things we want to do very well. And I've learned quality is much better than quantity. And our woman in Proverbs seems to be quite a good businesswoman because in verse 16, it begins by saying that she considers a new field before she buys it. She considers her present duties and is careful not to neglect them by taking on new ones. So, in other words, she seriously thinks about she is about to do and does not act emotionally without giving it a lot of thought first and prayer and meditation to the Lord as well. And I just thinking, oh my goodness, how much better would life be if we all took the time to think about what we're about to do before we start doing it? It's amazing how many things I don't buy at the store if I just go home and think about it for a while. Or how good I feel the next day if I get a good night's sleep, and how that good night's sleep can change my mind on something I was going to do on impulse. Not everything that looks good is good. That is a hard lesson I've learned. And a wise person once told me to take the time to examine things thoroughly because everything that looks good is not good. And if you think about it, what is good is sometimes the enemy of what is best. Hear that again. What is good is sometimes the enemy of what is best. And I'm learning to choose more excellent things and not merely settle for another good thing. I used to settle for whatever was good enough. Yep, I can do that. I can do that. I'll take that. I'll befriend you. That's enough money. That job's fine. You can talk to me that way. You can be my friendship that way. That relationship can go that way. You know why? Because I just thought it was good enough. But I started walking this walk with God, and I realized that good enough merely isn't good enough for me anymore. I am choosing for excellence, and God wants you to choose excellence. God didn't do all the things that He did for you on that cross, hung on that cross, died on that cross, was put in a tomb, went to hell and defeated the devil for the 3 days, came back up and resurrected out of that tomb for you to merely have what is good enough. God wants you to have what is excellent. So today, just think about that before you make a choice. I was looking through my emails and my texts and my phone calls and stuff today, and I even got a couple in snail mail. And I received many, many good opportunities almost every day of the week. And I have to decline a lot of them because I know what I'm called by God to do today. And I stick with my calling. God gave me that calling. That's my calling from God. And that's the calling that he wants me to have. So if I go out and grab all these other things that come at me because people want me to do them, that's not what God called me to do. And I want you to know today that just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you're not allowed to say no. We are allowed to say no. Christians are allowed to say no. So I stick with my calling today, because I have an allotted amount of time and energy to manage in such a way that I can bear the most fruit that I can. I don't want to neglect the other duties by taking on new ones. And a sure way to lose my confidence is to have so much to do that I'm not doing any of it well. So, like I said, I want you to know, even as a Christian, it is okay to say no when someone asks you to do something. Pray about it, meditate on it, think about it. Don't put too much on your plate to where you can't finish it all. Because when you do that, then we're not doing a good job for ourselves, and we're certainly not serving God or others the way that He wants us to. So when an opportunity arises, carefully consider how it will affect your duties that you already have, your present duties. And think about that before you commit to something else. And then I always have to ask myself, do I even have a passion or the resources to do what they're asking me to do? And most importantly, has God called me to do it? Then we can trust that God's hand will be on our decision. So pray about it, meditate about it, think about it. Always remember what I say. Pause, pray, process, proceed. I hope you all have a blessed Monday. Enjoy this beautiful weather. I love you all. God bless.